Welcome back students. I am Professor Poonam Gharge from College of Agriculture Baramati going to explain you the remaining part of self-incompatibility in this video lecture. In first lecture we have already studied the definition of self-incompatibility, then classification of self-incompatibility. In that we have studied heteromorphic system. In this lecture we will cover homomorphic system of self-incompatibility, mechanism of self-incompatibility, then measures to overcome this self-incompatibility and utilization of self-incompatibility in plant breeding. So one by one we are going to see hereafter. Homomorphic system. In homomorphic system, self-incompatibility results due to physiological causes rather than differences in flower morphology. So in this system, plants do not have differences in the length of style and stamens or other flower parts that we can observe in heteromorphic system. Therefore, this system is very much important in crop plant. So, this type of self-incompatibility operate in various ways that we are going to see one by one. So, first one is the pollen grains do not germinate on the stigma of same flower. So, in this case, when the pollen grains reaches to the stigmatic surface, there will be no development or no germination of pollen grain takes place, which result in the self-incompatibility reaction. Or in some cases, if pollen grain germinate, then there will be no development of pollen tube or further development, mitotic divisions will not take place, which result in the self-incompatibility reaction, and that you can observe in case of rye, cabbage and radish crop. Then second reason is the pollen grain may germinate, but there is a retardation of pollen tube growth. So in this case, see here, this is your stigmatic surface and this is, so when this pollen grain is going to reach to this stigmatic surface, so there is a germination of this pollen grain takes place, but there will be no development of pollen tube growth, and due to which the further steps, that is the formation of vegetative nucleus and tube nucleus, will not take place. Hence you will not get the fertilization. You can't see the fertilization. Okay. Then third reason is, in some cases there is a slow rate of pollen tube growth and it rarely reaches the ovary in time to effect self fertilization. So in this third case, there will be germination of pollen grain takes place, as well as there is a development of this pollen tube takes place, but the growth of this pollen tube rate is very slow. So when it reaches to the ovary, at that time ovary degenerates. So there will be no fertilization takes place between male gamete and female gamete. So that will result in the self-incompatibility reaction. Then fourth one is, in some cases pollen tube growth may be normal, but it doesn't release the male gamete. So in this case, what happened? All the things are normal. So pollen germination takes place, then there is a development of pollen tube takes place, it reaches in time in the embryo sac, but when it reaches to the embryo sac, there will be no bursting of this tube takes place. So there will be male gametes are not released by this pollen tube, and due to this you will get a self-incompatibility reaction. So in this system, incompatibility reaction of pollen is controlled by the genotype of plant on which it is produced or by its own genotype. Okay. So incompatibility is not associated with morphological differences among flowers. So this mechanism is totally based on protein-protein interaction, and these interactions are controlled by a single locus termed as a ES. So this ES locus is responsible to induce this self-incompatibility reaction, and these ES locus are having again many different alleles such as S1, S2, S3 and so on. Okay, so homomorphic type of self-incompatibility found in majority of self-incompatible species. So this homomorphic system is of two types: gametophytic self-incompatibility and sporophytic self-incompatibility. So first one is gametophytic. So this type of self-incompatibility was first described by the scientist East and Mangelsdorff in 1925 in Nicotiana tabacum, that is in tobacco crop. So when the self-incompatibility is controlled by the genetic constitution of pollen or the genotype of pollen and not by the genotype of plant on which it is produced, then it is called as a gametophytic self-incompatibility. Is that clear? I will repeat it again. So gametophytic self-incompatibility means it is the incompatibility reaction which is governed by the genotype of pollen or the male gamete. Whatever genotype or a single allele that will going to express this incompatibility reaction. So incompatibility reaction is determined by pollen genotype or genetic constitution of pollen, that is called as gametophytic self-incompatibility. Then rules or the main features of this gametophytic self-incompatibility. So this type of self-incompatibility is extremely polymorphic. This S locus is extremely polymorphic, means there are many multiple alleles are present on this S loci such as S1, S2, S3 and so on. So incompatibility is controlled by a single S allele in the haploid pollen grain, a single allele which is present in haploid state that will able to produce a incompatibility reaction. Thus the pollen grain will grow in a pistil that does not contain the same allele. When allele present in pollen grain or male gamete matches with the allele in the female gamete, it will produce a incompatibility reaction. So if allele present in male gamete is different than the female gamete, then they will show you compatible reaction. Okay. So the compatibility reaction is totally depend on the genotype of pollen. So pollen grains with its genetic constitution is responsible for this kind of self-incompatibility reaction. So pollen tube carrying a single allele is inhibited if the same allele is present in the style. So if your female gamete having the same allele which is carried by a male gamete, then they will show you incompatibility reaction. And fertilization is successful only if this S allele carried by the pollen is different from either of two carried by diploid tissue of pistil. Okay. So these two alleles of S gene show here codominance. So such kind of system you can observe in Solanaceae family. So in this slide we can see we are having here three female parents, that is S1, S2, S1, S3, S3, S4. While the male parent we are having with genotype S1, S2. So this male parent is going to produce two gametes, that is and S2. So if you can see here, so this is a pistil. Okay. So on this stigma, when this gamete S1 is going to reach on this stigma, what happen? This gamete is matched with the gamete which is present in the female parent, that is S1. In the same manner, you can see this S2 gamete is also going to match with the another gamete which is, or another allele which is present in the female genotype, and due to which this cross is incompatible. You can't get here a compatibility. Okay. So when you cross S1, S2 with S1, S2, you will get a fully incompatible cross, because the male gamete or alleles which is present in the male gamete, they are going to match with the female gamete. In second case, you can see where we are having a genotype S1, S3. Here you can see this S1 gamete is going to match with the genotype present in female gamete, that is S1. Therefore, there is no germination of this S1 gamete takes place. But if you see here S2, this S2 allele is not present in female genotype. Hence, there is a germination of pollen grain takes place with S2 allele, as well as it affects the fertilization. So in this case, when you are going to cross this S1, S2 with S1, S3, you will get a partial compatibility. So 50% plant will able to produce a seed on self when you cross with such type of genotype. Then in third case, we are having a female genotype S3, S4. So you can see here we are having a two male gamete with allele S1 and S2. Okay. So none of them is going to match with female gamete, and therefore you will get a compatible reaction here. So both pollen grains with this type of allele are germinated and affect the fertilization. And in that case, you are getting here a fully compatible cross. So all plants are able to bear a seed. Okay. Next one. So in case of gametophytic system, it is the single S allele of a pollen that determines pollination. If the S allele of the pollen grain matches either of the female allele, then there is no germination takes place. So the same you can see in this first picture. The female parent is having genotype S1, S2, while your male parent is having a genotype S1, S3. Okay. So in that case, you can see the gamete S1 is going to match with the allele which is present in the female genotype, that is S1, and therefore you don't have a germination here of this S1, while S3 is completely different from the female parent genotype, and therefore you can see here the germination of this S3 allele. Okay. Next one, you can see the female genotype is S2, S3. Okay. while pollen grains or male gametes are, we are having S1 and again S3. So here S3 is going to match with a female genotype, hence there is a no germination takes place, while S1 is completely different from a female genotype, hence it will show a germination. Then the third case we are having a here with female genotype S2, S4. Again male gametes are two type S1 and S3. So both of them are not going to match with the female genotype. Hence both are germinated on the stigma, and that will show you a complete or a fully compatible reaction. The next one is sporophytic self-incompatibility. So this type of self-incompatibility was first reported by scientists Hughes and Babcock in 1950 in Crapis foetida crop, and later on the scientist Grestel in 1950 also reported the same in Parthenium argentatum. Now this system has been reported in radish, cabbage, cauliflower, sunflower, cosmos and several other crop plants. So this type of self-incompatibility reaction is governed by the genotype of plant on which pollen is produced. Okay. So definition of sporophytic self-incompatibility is when the self-incompatibility is governed by the genotype of pollen producing plant. So pollen producing plant is important here, that is called as a sporophyte. Okay. Genotype of pollen producing plant is responsible here to induce a self-incompatibility reaction. Okay. So here a single allele is not responsible. Instead of that, a diploid genotype is responsible here to cause a incompatibility reaction. So the important features of this sporophytic self-incompatibility are: the pollen will not germinate on the stigma of a flower that contain either of two alleles in the sporophyte parent. Okay. So in this case you can see there will be no germination of pollen grain takes place on the stigma which contain either of two alleles. Doesn't matter here. So here we are not considering the single allele. Instead of that we are considering the genotype. Okay. So if this allele which is present in pollen that doesn't matches with but its parent is having that allele, in that case you will get a no germination. So this holds true even though each pollen grain being haploid contains only one of the allele. Why it is possible? Because this type of self-incompatibility is controlled by a single gene, yes, with its multiple allele, and this yes loci is going to show us a dominance reaction. So for example, here the S2 pollen was produced by a S1 S2 plant. So male parent genotype is S1 S2 and pollen grain which is containing S2 allele, but still it can't germinate on a female parent which is having a genotype S1 S3 because we are not considering here a single allele, we are considering its genotype from which plant that pollen is produced. So if we consider this both genotype, so you can see here S1 allele is present in female parent as well as this S1 is also present in a male parent. So this S1 allele have a match here, and due to which this S2 pollen is not germinated on this S1 S3 plant stigma. Okay. So Here you can see, as I already told you, this S allele is going to show us a dominance. So S1 allele is greater than S2, S2 is greater than S3, S3 is greater than S4 and so on. So due to this dominance reaction, if a genotype is having a allele such as S1, S2, this S2 allele is going to behave like a S1. So they will show you reaction like a S1 gene. In the same manner, S1, S3, this S3 will behave like a S1. In S1, S4, this S4 allele is also going to behave as a S1 allele. If you are having a genotype S2, S3, this S3 is going to behave like S2 because S2 is greater than S3. In the same manner, in case of S2, S4, this S4 allele is going to behave as a S2 because S2 is having a dominance over S4. In the same manner here, S3, S4, S4 is behave like a S3. So the alleles may show here dominance, individual action or interaction in either pollen or style as per allelic combinations involved. Okay. So system exhibits inhibition of pollen germination or pollen tube growth on the stigma of same flower. So in this system, crosses between different genotype are either fully fertile or completely sterile. Only two possibilities we are having. Either you can get a fully fertile or fully sterile cross. So for example, you can see here, we are taken here three female parents, S1, S2, S1, S3, S3, S4 and male parent S1, S2. Okay. So in the same manner, this S1, S2 parent will produce a two male gamete S1, S2. So when this S1 and S2 gamete reaches to the stigma of this S1, S2 plant, what happens? There will be no germination takes place. Why there is no germination takes place? Because this S2 allele is going to behave like a S1. So both will act as a S1 gene and this S1 gene is going to match the S1 gene which is present in the genotype of pistil, and due to which you will get a fully sterile cross or fully incompatible cross. Okay. Then in case of second genotype S1, S3, you can see here this S2 is again going to behave like a S1 gene. So both are S1, S1 and these S1 are going to match with the S1 gene which is present in the genotype of pistil, and due to which again you can't get a compatible reaction. So this type of cross is also fully sterile. In the third one, we are having a genotype S3, S4. Okay. So this S4 is going to behave like a S3. Both will act as a S3. And here this S2 will behave like a S1. So S1 and S3, they can't match with each other. Hence you will get a fully compatible reaction. So both pollen grains will germinate on the stigma of this S3, S4 plant. Okay. So this is the sporophytic self-incompatibility. So in case of sporophytic self-incompatibility, it is the combined S allele of the all pollen that determines pollination. Okay. So if the S allele of any pollen grain matches with the female, then there is a no pollination takes place. So you can see in the first picture, we are having a female parent with S1, S2 genotype and pollen grains with S1, S3. So this S3 will again behave like a S1 because S1 is having a dominance over S3, and due to this both are S1 S1. So this S2 in female gamete is also behave like a S1. So we are having a reaction between S1 and S1 genotype, due to which you will get a no germination of pollen grain. Okay. Then in second case you can see we are having a S1 S3 female parent and male parent is S1 S3. Both are having the same genotype, hence we can't have a compatible reaction. The next one is S2 S4. Okay, so this S4 will behave like a S2, while in male gamete you are having a S3 gene or S3 allele which will behave like a S1 allele. So here we are having a reaction in between S1 and S2, hence you will get a fully compatible reaction. Next point is difference between gametophytic and sporophytic self-incompatibility. So gametophytic self-incompatibility, which is governed by genotype of pollen or genetic constitution of pollen, while sporophytic type of self-incompatibility governed by genotype of pollen producing plant. In case of gametophytic, the stigma is smooth and wet, while in case of sporophytic reaction, stigma is papillate, hairy and dry. Then in case of gametophytic self-incompatibility, pollen tube inhibition takes place in style region. So here pollen grain sometimes germination, but when they reaches to the style, the pollen tube reaches to the style, there will be inhibition takes place. Then pollen germination tube entry is inhibited on the stigmatic surface in case of sporophytic self-incompatibility. Then in case of gametophytic, the pollen pistil interaction governed by the haploid genome of each male gamete and diploid genome of pistil tissue. While in case of sporophytic, this pollen pistil interaction governed by the genome of plant on which the male and female gametes produced. So this S allele is going to show codominance in case of gametophytic reaction, while in case of sporophytic, this S allele going to show dominance action. Then S allele product is synthesized after completion of meiosis in case of gametophytic system, while in case of sporophytic, this product is synthesized before the completion of meiosis. Then pollen grain in such a species are binucleate. In case of gametophytic, pollen grains are having 2 cell nuclei, while in case of sporophytic, pollen grain possess a trinucleate stage. Okay. So in case of gametophytic self-incompatibility, there will be no production of homozygotes takes place, while in case of sporophytic there will be production of homozygote individual takes place. Next one is process may be sterile, partially fertile or fully fertile in case of gametophytic self-incompatibility, while in case of sporophytic fully sterile or fully fertile process will be obtained. And examples are, in case of gametophytic, you will observe this type of self-incompatibility in Solanaceae family, while sporophytic you can observe in Cruciferae family. The next point is mechanism of self-incompatibility. So there are 2 type of event considered to constitute basis of self-incompatibility. First one is stimulation of unlike genotype, and the second one is inhibition of like genotype. So thus 2 two hypotheses have been proposed to explain the mechanism of self-incompatibility in plants by the scientist Batman. So these are, first one is complementary hypothesis and second one is a oppositional hypothesis. So one by one we are going to discuss in brief here. So first one is complementary hypothesis. So this hypothesis was proposed by Batman in 1952. So according to this hypothesis, self-incompatibility results due to absence of stimulation by the pistil on pollen growth in the like genotype. It means this self-incompatibility reaction occurs due to absence of certain substance in pistil or pollen which are essential for pollen tube penetration. So due to absence of those substances in like genotype, it will result in the production of a self-incompatibility reaction. So on selfing, the pollen or pistil fail to produce such a substance which is required for the germination or a pollen tube development as well as penetration of this pollen tube in the styler region, and due to lack of this substance which is required for a stimulation of pollen germination, it result in the production of incompatibility reaction. However, when unlike genotypes are met such as S1, S2, when crossed with S3, S4, this leads to the normal pollen germination due to presence of that stimulation at stigmatic surface. Okay. And the second one is a oppositional hypothesis. So this hypothesis states that interaction between like alleles such as S1, S2 when crossed with S1, S2 leads to production of inhibitor. So some kind of inhibitors are produced when both genotypes are or like genotypes are crossed, and due to this inhibitor, it will inhibit the growth of pollen tube in the pistil. So during this interaction period between like allele, a substance is produced in pollen as well as in a pistil which has property to interfere with the normal metabolism of this pollen grain and development of tube, and due to which you will get a incompatibility reaction. So this inhibitor is going to act here in three ways. Either it may inhibit the enzyme or auxin which is required for pollen tube growth. So when like genotypes crossed, what happen? Certain inhibitors are produced that will inhibit the production of enzymes or auxin which is required for a development of pollen tube growth. Then another one, it may block pollen tube membrane. So whatever inhibitor substance is produced when we cross two like genotypes, what happen? They will block the pollen tube membrane, and due to which it create a hindrance to break or burst that pollen tube. And third one, it may inhibit an enzyme necessary for the penetration of style. So the enzyme which is required for breakdown of the style at stigmatic surface, that is not produced or due to presence of this inhibitor, and due to which there will be no penetration of pollen tube takes place in style, that result in the incompatibility. Okay. Now next part is measures to overcome the self-incompatibility. So there are several ways and means to overcome the self-incompatibility in crop plant. Out of that, only few important one we are going to explain or discuss here. In that, the first one is bird pollination. So pollination of immature birds when the stigma is in a non-receptive stage, we are doing pollination by using a mature pollen. Has been successful in the production of large quantity of self seed both in gametophytic and sporophytic system. Okay. So, in some cases application of fluid from mature stigma may improve success of bird pollination. So, after pollination you can also do application of the fluid from mature stigmas. So, generally this bird pollination done 2 to 4 days before flower opening. Generally in young birds the stigma lack adhesivity, which can be achieved by smearing the exudate from a open flower. Then second one is a delay pollination. So, delayed pollination also leads to self fertilization in some self incompatible species. So, pollination of aged pistil several days after maturity with normal incompatible pollen will be helpful here, that will result in the some degree of self fertilization in Brassica and Linum crop. However, such results could not be achieved with other plant species. Then the third one is late season pollination. So, self pollination at the end of flowering season also leads to seed set in some species like Nicotiana and Abolition. So, this may be due to loss of capacity to produce active incompatibility substance at the end of flowering season. These plants or this flower able to set a seed. Then fourth one is eradication of style. So, in Solanaceae family, acute irradiation with X-ray or gamma rays induce a temporary loss of self incompatibility. So, if you expose these styles and stigma to X-rays or gamma rays for a temporary period, they will lose this self incompatibility, and in that period you can do a self pollination. Then the fifth one is high temperature treatment. So, treatment of high temperature ranging from 30 to 60 degrees Celsius leads to breakdown of self incompatibility. So, again in this case you have to expose your stigma and style to 30 to 60 degrees Celsius temperature, and after that you have to do a self pollination. The next one is grafting. So, grafting a branch onto another branch of the same plant or another plant is also result in the reduction in the degree of self incompatibility. Then next one is in vitro fertilization. So, it means you have to place pollen grains directly in contact with a ovule. So, you have to do a excision of pollens as well as ovules, and you have to in lab they keep them side by side. That will also result in the formation of zygote. So, it will result in the breakdown of self incompatibility. Then next one is utilization of this self incompatibility in plant breeding. So, it is used in self incompatibility is used by two ways, that is for production of hybrids and for combining desirable gene. So, first one is how it is used in hybrid seed production. So, it can be done by two ways. Either we can cross two self incompatible line, so here we are taking two lines, that is line A and line B. Both are self incompatible, but when we cross this line A with line B, they are compatible. So when you cross sow the field with one line of A and one line of B, it will result in the production of a hybrid seed which is fertile one. Then second way is a self-incompatible line may be interplanted with a self-compatible line. So here we are taking one self-incompatible line and sown along with another variety or another line which is self-compatible, or those variety or those lines able to do a self-pollination. So this method is used in case of brassica vegetable in Europe and Japan. Okay. So seeds from only these self-incompatible lines are harvested because that is the only F1 seeds or hybrid seeds, while the seeds which is obtained from this self-compatible line is mixture of F1 and selfed seed. So only we are harvesting seed from this self-incompatible line. Then third one is scheme for production of double cross and triple cross. So in that case, in case of single cross, we require two lines. That is, there may be one line is incompatible while another one is incompatible or self-compatible. So when you cross two lines, or if you are taking two parents in a cross, that cross is called as a single cross. The resulting hybrid is called as a single cross hybrid. In case of double cross hybrid, it involves four parents. So initially we are producing two single crosses. So A line, which is a self-incompatible line, crossed with B line, it may be a self-incompatible or self-compatible. In the same manner, we are taking another two line. Again here this C line will be self-incompatible while D will be self-compatible or incompatible. The resulting F1 from these two pieces are the fertile one. So again we are making a cross between these two F1 that will result in the production of a hybrid of double cross. In the same manner, you can also go for a triple cross. Triple cross means the cross which involve three parents. Okay. So here initially we are crossing A with B, and whatever hybrid you are getting, that is crossed with another third line, that is C line. So resulting hybrid is called as triple cross hybrid. Then maintenance and crossing of this self-incompatible line. So for maintenance purpose, every year we have to sow this incompatible line. Suppose we are having here two line A and line B. Okay. So every year we are raising them in field and doing their propagation by using a bird pollination method. So through bird pollination we are getting a selfed seed. Again we are sowing them in the next year, and when you want to produce a hybrid, simply we are making a cross between these two lines. The resulting progeny is called as a hybrid. The next point is characteristics of superior self-incompatible line. So self-incompatible line have a stable performance, so it can't fluctuate with different climatic condition. So at every higher or low temperature, high humidity, low humidity or photoperiod, the line should have a stable performance. Okay. Then high seed set on self pollination at bud stage. When you do a bud pollination, it will give a high seed setting. Then favorable and uniform economic characters. Whatever character that line possesses should be desirable one and uniform. Then desirable combining ability. So the line should have a ability or produce an average performance when we cross that line with several lines. Then easy to develop and maintain. Then why we have to use this self incompatibility for hybrid seed production? So in order to increase the productivity, we want a large number of seeds from an area or from a unit area. If you want a high amount of hybrid seed, for that purpose we require a self incompatibility, because it avoid our enormous work of emasculation and pollination. Then to reduce the cost of hybrid seed. Then third one is to develop hybrids easily, and fourth one, it reduce the duration of hybrid development. If you are having a self incompatible line, the development of hybrid will be early, so it will speed up your hybridization program. Next, problems in use of this SI in hybrid seed production. So few problems are associated, or there are certain limitation on the use of self incompatibility. Out of that, few are explained here. First one, bud pollination for maintenance of this self incompatibility is a very tedious and costly affair. So it is a very tedious job. You have to select a proper bud stage, then you have to open that bud and do pollination, bagging, etc., etc. Then high cost of hybrid seed. So these lines speed up the program, hybridization program, but still the cost of hybrid seed is higher, because for maintenance of those lines we have to do a bud pollination, which also require a emasculation and pollination. Then continued selfing in a self incompatible line make it self fertile, as well as all lines are not show you the stable performance. So if temperature is going to reduce or increases, then this incompatible line will be behave as a compatible line, so they will able to do a self pollination. So that is also another problem. Then transfer of ES allele or this incompatibility from one variety to tedious and complicated work, and this has prevented the use of self incompatibility. And due to all these problems, such as bud pollination or ununiformities, stability issue, etc., it is self incompatibility use is limited. So thank you for listening this video.